Wow. Oh, it is. Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, hello everyone. I am your mediator today. We're going to be discussing the Black Lab and Blue Ribbon Roses incident. Before we begin, just a few ground rules. We're going to break out into breakout rooms. Who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant?
I'm the plaintiff.
Okay.
I'm the defendant.
Okay, great. Few ground rules. First, just don't interrupt each other. Try to respect each other's point of view. Um, we're both just trying to get. We're all just trying to get through this in the most painless way possible. I think listening to each other rather than trying to speak over each other the whole time is probably the best way of doing it. Try to respect each other. If I am not coming off as impartial, or if I'm coming off as biased to one side, I am happy to know, and I want you guys to feel like I am listening to both of you and taking account of what everyone's trying to say and coming to a neutral decision. With that, we're going to break out into breakout rooms. I'm going to listen to the plaintiff first. Jamie, you might want to start recording once we break out into breakout rooms, so that way we have your Zoom video of that. And then once that's done, Reagan, I'll go over to you, and I'll just go back and forth until we kind of figure out a solution. Sound good to you guys?
Yep.
Any
Yep.
questions before we start?
No.
All
Nope.
right. So I'm going to break out into breakout rooms. Jamie, you can try to go to breakout room 1, or I'll assign you manually, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds great. Let me just. All right. You should be able to see your rooms.
Got it. There we go.
Okay. So for some reason, the recording will not work with breakout rooms. I'm sorry about that, Reagan. We're just going to do it within the main room. Does that is that what you did last time, Reagan?
Yeah. Last time we all just stayed in the same room.
And we will just do that. Jamie, you'll go first as the plaintiff. Kind of talk about what's happening. Reagan, don't interrupt. I'll come back to when I'm when he's done, I'll talk to you and we can kind of figure out everything from there. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, Jamie, give me the lowdown of what's going on.
So I am suing for 3 grand because of Reagan's dog. Um,
Okay.
it's a really scary black lab. It's caused me a lot of trouble over the last little bit. Reagan's my next door neighbor. This dog has come over onto my property on 2 occasions. And one of the times it came over, it actually bit me in the hand, suffered some injuries. I had to get stitches. It also destroyed 2 of my rose bushes, which is like my pride and joy because I'm a master rose bush gardener. And additionally, the dog's been keeping me up. So it barks 24/7, wakes me up at night, scares my children. So I just want this, basically want my, to be repaid for the damages the dog has caused and to hopefully avoid this issue in the future.
Is that your perspective on it, Reagan?
For the most part, but
What's different?
well, for one, respectfully, I mean the dog bite was Jamie's fault. I believe when my dog escaped and had tried going into Jamie's house or wherever the dog bite occurred, Jamie chased and beat my dog with a broom. So I think that is what caused my dog to act aggressively. Jamie should have just called me right away. I would have gone over there and got the dog before it got to that point. Um, that's the main thing. So I don't really feel comfortable with repaying damages for the doctor's bill because I think the dog bite came from Jamie's reaction and him beating him with the broom.
Okay. Um, Jamie, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, the dog was in my yard. So I got an aggressive dog in my yard. I'm free to take whatever action I want. And I didn't beat it. I just, smacked it with a broom, which may not have been the best decision at the time, but it was, that the burden shouldn't be on me when somebody else's dog got out, ended up in my yard. And it's a scary dog. I didn't know what to do. I didn't shoot it. I didn't do anything that would kill it or damage it severely. I just, smacked it with a broom and then it bit me.
So, what what do you feel comfortable, I guess, how what would make you most comfortable with just solving this issue? Like what is your kind of goal out of this issue? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I just want the medical bills paid and the roses replaced and
Okay.
hopefully do something just to where like the dog's not waking me up anymore, not coming over into my yard anymore.
Okay. And Reagan, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think Jamie should just drop the claim. I don't really feel like I owe him anything from the doctor's bill. I mean, what he's asking for with the rose bulbs and the bushes, I just think that's way too high of an amount for that.
Well, if
Sorry.
you had a cat that attacked you from above, I mean, would you would that change your mind? No, I'm kidding. Here's kind of what I'm saying right now is I do think there's a conflict on whether who who's kind of at fault here, right? I think Jamie definitely had property damage and definitely had injury, but was that the best way he could have dealt with the dog? I don't know. So, what is kind of what would you be happy walking away? Like, do you want to just solve this problem? Do you want to just like would you be okay paying and being done with it, or do you just want to? Would you be happy bringing this to trial, kind of bringing this out to the end? Like, what is your perspective on that, Reagan
Oh,
specifically?
me, sorry. I thought you were
Sorry,
talking to Jamie.
no, you're
Um,
good.
No, I mean, although I believe I'm not at fault here and I'm very skeptical about paying such a high amount for these bushes and repairs, I really want to try and settle on something today. I really would not like to go to trial if possible.
Well, okay, Jamie, what about you?
I mean, I just want what I feel like I'm owed. I've sued for 3 grand. I'd like to collect all of it, but I would be willing to like work towards an agreement if, and I would be willing to take less than three. Um,
Okay. So we agree three is kind of, I think everyone here agrees that three would be kind of the top end of what you would be willing to pay, what Reagan's payment would be. Um, Reagan, what specifically do you think, let me look real quick, that Jamie could have done better that you would like to communicate with him?
Um, I mean, there's really nothing he could have done as far as the damages to his flowers. I mean that is on me. I do admit that.
Okay.
Uh, I know my dog crawled through the ground for the tulip bushes, but the second incident, my dog did jump over my fence.
So you
So
would say there is some responsibility for the tulips, but the additional medical damages and everything like that, that's not necessarily on you.
yes,
Okay. So we do kind of agree then that there is some responsibility on the dog in some capacity for damages that may or may not that may have occurred, correct?
yes.
Okay. So Jamie, do you have like any offer you would make Reagan based off that information that she's kind of given you or anything?
yeah, I would take 2,000.
2000? Um,
I mean,
we,
my roses are worth 1,000,
yep.
500 apiece. Got $400 in medical bills. And then I've sued her also for $600 for the nuisance of the dog barking and waking us up, and then another 1,000 for pain and suffering related to the bite and then the fear of being attacked by a dog.
Okay.
So the 2,000 number just reduces that nuisance and pain and suffering claim from 1,600 all the way down to 600.
Okay. And Reagan, what's your take on that?
I just think that's too high. I don't, first of all, for the doctor's bill, I just don't really feel comfortable paying for those damages because again, I think the dog bite incident was from Jamie's reaction to the dog, and I think that he could have handled it better. Um,
Okay.
but like I said before, I do realize the fault on my part, for letting my dog into his property twice. And so I am willing to help repay those damages for the flowers, but I mean, I've seen rose bulbs at Costco for like $20. I'm just not gonna pay $500 for a rose bush. I don't think that's very reasonable.
Would it be, well, Jamie, what do you think about that? Is there a specific, why do you think the bushes are worth so much money?
Because they're like A1 roses that I've cultivated and won awards for. It'd be
Okay.
like destroying like a really important painting and then offering to replace it with a blank canvas that was $20.
Do you have a counter offer then, Reagan, that you would be more comfortable? I know you kind of gave a rough one, but a specific counter offer you'd be more comfortable offering to
Um,
Jamie?
for the roses specifically, since I know like that amount, I would do 500 for both.
For both?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. What do you think about that, Jamie?
No, I wouldn't accept 500 for both. I mean, I would if we can play around with like what she's willing to pay for, but my total number, I'm still at right around 2,000.
Right around two? Okay, so we've gone from 0 to 3,000 to 500 to 2,000. So I think we are kind of moving in towards some sort of a median or some sort of a agreement. I don't think this is too far off of a number to say like, well, this isn't going to work. I think there is definitely some room for negotiation here. Obviously, I think one side has to come down and one side has to come up for that to be possible. But I think that we can still, there's still plenty of room for negotiation. Um, Reagan, is there, knowing that they are kind of prized bushes, I know that you said you'd be willing to pay half. Would you be willing to say, well, what if we paid for all the bushes and kind of left it there? What about that? How would that make you feel?
I would feel better about paying more for the bushes if I knew that, not that like the total amount matters, but I am still very adamant about, I don't feel like it's my place to pay for the doctor's bill. So if we
Okay.
get that cleared out, I'd be maybe willing to up the price of the bushes more.
So he said that the bushes are worth $500. He's won awards for them. He put effort and cultivated them, and make it about $1,000 for the bushes without the doctor's bills. Would you be more comfortable if it were just the rose bushes to be able to be willing to pay that amount?
I would do like 750.
750. Okay, Jamie, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think we're moving in the wrong direction because my medical bills are non-negotiable.
They're non-negotiable.
I'm not taking anything that doesn't include the medical bills. Now, I know that I don't remember the last, I think we were at 2000 or around there,
You
but
you said two, yeah.
like I said, I'm willing to come down on like the nuisance claim and the pain and suffering claim, which already have come down from the amount that, that I've sued for. But the 400 in medical bills is a non-negotiable.
Okay, so what would you counteroffer to Reagan then?
Um, 1800.
Okay, so
It
that
brings
gets
more
okay.
off of the nuisance and the pain and suffering claims, brings it down a little bit.
Okay, so what if then? What if it were because it's a contended object? She did half the medical bills, paid for the roses. That'd be around $1,200, and something else. I don't know, like 150 extra for all the other damages that might come with that. That'd be 1350.
I mean, we're close in like the total amount, but if it's going to be 1350 total, why not just pay 14? 14 would cover
Okay,
my
so
bushes
so
and the medical bills.
okay, so 14. Is that would you feel more comfortable with 14 then?
I would take 14 just to be done with
Okay.
all this.
What do you feel about that, Reagan? That's 1,000 for the bushes and then 400 for the medical.
I mean, I would do full price for the bushes and half of the medical bill because again, I am willing to understand that it's my fault my dog was able to enter into Jamie's property and that's how the dog bite occurred, but also Jamie is also contributory negligent in a sense that he was hitting my dog with a broom. Of course, the dog's going to defend himself and bite. So I would do half of the doctor's bill with the full price of the flowers. That's
Okay. What if
probably as far as I would go.
so? What if then? What if you did three-fourths of the medical bills and then Jamie, you waived any sort of other liability that might follow? So if there's more complications from the medical damages going forward, you don't claim any responsibility for that, and you give them a little bit more extra money to kind of compensate for any future issue without claiming responsibility.
So how much total
But
would that be?
So, well, what would you feel comfortable paying? You offered 12, but if you wanted to, I'm kind of saying you put like maybe meet at the 14, but Jamie agrees that any future liability that could occur because of this incident, or even just taking responsibility outside of the $1,400, you're not on the hook for that.
I mean, I think my offer is very fair. I'm paying full
Twelve
price
hundred.
for his bushes and half of his medical bill when he hit my dog with the broom. I think that's very fair on my end. I feel like the
Okay.
1,200 is me paying everything I was responsible for.
Okay.
But
Jamie, what's your
yeah,
response to that?
you're kind of.
Yeah, I need my medical bills.
That's non-negotiable.
Yeah. I mean, it's her dog. I mean, this is a strict liability state for animals. I mean, you're responsible as soon as it leaves your property. And smacking it with a broom is like a pretty tame response compared to what a lot of people would do.
Okay. But could you also see that this is a contended liability? Like there are facts that need to be discovered to discover really who is responsible specifically for the dog. I mean, Reagan's perspective on this, I think she also has a fair perspective on medical liability, and she's offered to pay half of it, even though she claims not to be responsible for the medical liability. So I think, wouldn't you think that's fair? That $1,200, it gets you at least in the door with your medical payments, and all your roses are taken care of outside of that.
I mean, I've asked for another 1,600 for the nuisance and the pain and suffering. Waived that completely. To me, that is a pretty big, agreement in the middle. I'm not asking for three. I'm not asking for two. I'm just asking for 14.
Okay.
And
I'd be willing.
we haven't discussed like fixing this going forward either. Like, is it going to be a problem in the future? Is the dog going to be kept up? I don't know.
And I was gonna bring that up next. The second time my dog got into your property, Jamie, it was because my dog jumped over my fence. So I would be willing to put in a higher fence, like much higher, so he wouldn't be able to jump over.
And I don't want to, like steal your role, Noah, but
No, you're good.
I would also be willing to apologize for hitting the dog. I just want to get my medical bills paid for.
Reagan, how do you feel about a formal apology and paying that 1,400, putting in a higher fence? How much does it say how much that fence would cost, Reagan?
No, it does not.
Okay. Um, well, here's the thing too, Jamie, is what if she paid you that 1,200 and then the rest of that money was put in on some sort of confinement for the dog and you would still issue that formal apology? Because that could help avoid any future medical issues if the dog were to, say, jump over the fence again.
I would agree to that if
Okay.
Reagan took some steps to try and maybe keep the dog from barking to the best of her ability. I would agree to that.
So here's the offer on the table. I just want to make sure you both agree. Jamie would offer a formal apology for hitting the dog. In exchange, Reagan would pay $1,200 for all damages caused by the dog, 1,000 to the roses, and 200 for medical. Reagan would also install a heightened fence around her yard in order to make sure the dog were not to escape again. Sound good with you, Jamie?
Sounds good.
Reagan?
Yeah, that's good with me. And fences aren't cheap, and I'm gonna do my best to make it high enough to where jumping over isn't even a possibility.
Okay. I am going to write then this agreement. I'll read out the clauses as I read. You guys can kind of agree term by term and see if we go for there. Plaintiff agrees to pay $1,200 for all damages caused um,
Defendant.
to defendant. Do you guys want to put in what those damages are, or
I
just
think
kind of leave it as all damages and don't worry about?
I think it's defendant is to pay plaintiff.
You're right. You're right. My bad. I can't. I can't law right now. Thank you. As I was saying, do you guys want to just kind of leave it as that, or do you want to add 1,000 for medical, or 1,000 for bushes, 200 for medical, or do you want to just leave it as is?
I would maybe
She's okay
include
with that.
specifics just for like
Okay.
class purposes. Ralph,
Jamie, is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay. Clause 2. Plaintiff will issue formal apology to defendant for hitting dog with broom. Sound good?
yes.
Sounds good.
And then clause 3, defendant will install a higher fence around yard. How many days do you want to have for that?
Um, to like start the installment or like have it be done.
Yeah, just starting it.
I can start within the next week.
Within 1 week at cost of the defendant, right?
Yes.
Just like you're paying for it.
Yes.
Cost. Any other provisions? Confidentiality? Do you guys really care about that, or you good with just these three?
I think that's good.
For
Works for me.
Jamie?
Yep.
All right, I will send this to you for a formal electronic signature. I will sign as the mediator here, and I will send this to you over email so you guys can sign. And then, if you have any questions, let me know. I think that's it.
All right. Good job, everybody. Good job,
Good.
Noah.
Yeah, appreciate it. $1,200. It's a good deal. So
Yes.
we take that.
All right.
All
I
right.
will end this recording now.